There is a beauty to this world that words will never fully capture. The curve of the earth as it meets the sky, the fleeting patterns of clouds, the texture of sunlight on your skin, all of it is alive, raw, and undeniably real. For thousands of years, human beings lived immersed in this reality, deeply rooted in the land and in their senses. We built our understanding of the world from what we could see, touch, and experience directly. Life was imperfect, yes, and often cruel, but it was vibrant, immediate, and ours to embrace. And then, something changed. A great idea entered the world, an idea so powerful, so seductive, that it would reshape the course of history. The idea came from the mind of one man, Plato. He was a visionary, a thinker of extraordinary depth, someone who dared to ask the biggest questions about existence, truth, and meaning. His ideas promised answers to the mystery of life, a ways to rise above the confusion and chaos of the everyday. He offered us the hope of perfection, of absolute truth, of higher realm untouched by the flawed ones. It is easy to see why people were captivated with Plato's philosophy. It painted a picture of a better world, a world of perfect forms, where everything was unchanging, eternal, and pure. He told us that the world we see and touch is just a shadow, a pale reflection of this greater reality. He told us to turn away from the imperfect and strive for the ideal. For over 2,000 years, we have followed his vision, building religions, political systems, and moral codes around the dream of perfection. But now, as we stand in the ruins of what those dreams have created, we must ask ourselves, at what cost? Plato's ideas were not just lofty abstractions. They were seeds that took root in our culture, shaping the way we see ourselves and the world around us. They taught us to devalue the physical, the sensual, the present. They taught us to strive endlessly for perfection that can never be reached. They made us blind to the beauty and worth of the world as it is. It's time to look honestly at the legacy of Plato and question whether his vision was a gift or a trap. People talk about Plato as if he were some kind of genius, a savior of the humankind. And he was a genius, but I'm here to tell you the truth. Plato was the first and greatest coward. He couldn't handle the chaos, the unpredictability, the rawness of life, so he created a lie, a perfect, unchanging world that exists only in the realm of imagination. He told us that the real world, this messy, beautiful world we live in, is just a shadow, an imitation of something better. And we believed him. Do you see what this lie has done to us? Plato's fantasy has made us ashamed of the world as it is. It's made us turn our backs on reality, chasing after some imaginary perfection that doesn't exist and will never will. We've wasted centuries trying to fit life into the mold of his lifeless abstract ideas, and what's the result? We've become weaker, we've become afraid. We've become slaves to a dream that isn't even ours. But let me ask you this. What is this so-called perfect world Plato promises? It's a dead world. A place where nothing grows, nothing changes, nothing breathes. It's cold, sterile, lifeless. A graveyard disguised as a paradise. And yet we've been told to worship it, to sacrifice everything real and alive for the sake of an empty ideal. It's insanity. It's time to wake up. Plato's ideas are chains, and it's time to break them. Stop chasing perfection. Stop running from the chaos of life. Look around you. This world, imperfect, unpredictable, wild, is the only one we've got. And it's more than enough. Don't waste your life waiting for someone. Don't waste your life for some imaginary, better version of reality. Live for this moment, for this world, for this people and experiences that are here now. Life isn't something to escape from. It's something to dive into head first, without fear. So let's smash the illusion of Plato's perfect world. Let's reclaim the beauty of imperfection. Let's embrace the chaos, the struggle, the joy, and the pain. Because this right here, right now, is life, and it's worth saying yes to. Let's dig deeper into Plato's ideas. He believed that everything in this world is just a flawed copy of something perfect that exists in a higher, unchanging realm he called the world of forms. Think about that for a second. Every tree you've ever seen, every song you've ever heard, every relationship you've ever had, according to Plato, they're all just shadows of some sort of ideal version that's out of reach. It sounds harmless at first, maybe even inspiring, but here's the catch. When you believe this, you start to devalue the real world. You start to see everything around you as not good enough. Your relationships, imperfect. Your work, flawed. Even your body becomes something to despise. Because it doesn't match this imagined ideal. Plato didn't just give us a philosophy. He planted the seeds of a mindset that makes us perpetually dissatisfied, always striving for something that we can never truly achieve. This isn't just ancient history. Look at our world today. Plato's influence is everywhere. In religion, his ideas are the foundation for the belief in heaven and a perfect afterlife. That makes this life seem like a mere test or trial. How many people endure suffering, oppression, even injustice, because they've been told this world doesn't really matter? That their reward is somewhere else, somewhere better. In education, we still prioritize abstract theory over practical lived experience. Plato's Academy set the stage for a world where intellectual ideas are worshipped, while the hands-on, messy business of life is dismissed as inferior. Even in art, his disdain for the physical world lingers. He called artists imitators of shadows, suggesting their work was doubly removed from truth. Today we see echoes of this when people undervalue creative pursuits, dismissing them as unimportant compared to serious endeavors like science or philosophy. This is the legacy of Plato. A world where we chase perfection and reject the real. A world where we're so focused on what could be that we forget to appreciate what is. His ideas have infected our culture so deeply that most of us don't even realize it. But it's time we did, because the longer we live under Plato's shadow, the more we lose our connection to the earth, to ourselves, and to the vibrant and perfect reality that is life. Plato's ideas are not just abstractions, they are chains, and their links are forged in every corner of modern life. His belief in the realm of perfect forms, untouchable, eternal ideas, teaches us to disdain what is real and tangible. This is not some harmless philosophical quirk. It is a poison that seeps into the roots of how we think, act, and live today. Take religion, for example. What is heaven but Plato's world of forms dressed in the robes of faith? The promise of an eternal paradise, perfect and unchanging, lures people into rejecting this life as a mere shadow, a stepping stone. Entire civilizations have been built on the notion that this world is something to endure, not embrace, that suffering here will be redeemed elsewhere. This is Plato's shadow, alive and well. Or consider morality. Plato's obsession with perfection has seeped into our understanding of ethics. We judge ourselves and others not by the richness of their humanity, but by how closely they adhere to abstract universities' ideals of goodness or virtue. We created rigid systems, blind to the complexity of life, and then punish ourselves for failing to fit into their narrow confines. I see this as a perversion of human vitality. A morality of the weak designed to stifle and control, not to celebrate and empower. And what about our endless pursuit of progress, and science, in politics, in personal ambition. We are always striving for the perfect system, the perfect solution, the perfect self. Plato's fingerprints are here too. He taught us to seek an ideal, but he didn't warn us of the cost. We burn through resources, trample over people, and deny ourselves happiness in the name of a future that may never come. This is the Platonic dream, perfection always out of reach, yet always pulling us forward, further from the ground we stand on. Even in art, in culture, Plato's disdain for the physical and imperfect persists. Today, this manifests in our obsession with the polished, the flawless. We edit our photos, curate our lives, and chase after a superficial perfection that leaves us hollow. We've inherited Plato's contempt for the messy, the raw, the real. This is an utter tragedy, a slow, deliberate murder of life itself. Plato's ideas have taught us to fear imperfection, to recoil from chaos, to deny the very existence of existence. But life is not perfect, nor should it be. Life is chaos, flux, struggle, and overcoming. It is not in the pursuit of some otherworldly ideal that we find meaning, but in the affirmation of what is. So look around. Feel the weight of the earth beneath your feet, the pulse of blood in your veins, the fleeting beauty of the world as it is. Reject the lie that this is not enough. Reject Plato's dream of perfection, for it is a dream that demands we deny our humanity. Instead, say yes. Yes to life in all its messy, imperfect glory. For only in that yes do we truly begin to live.